recording.
Okay. I call the meeting of the Town of Pierson Planning Commission meeting on Tuesday, June 28th, 6 p.m. At this time, I will ask our town clerk to please have a roll call.
Chairman Paul Martell.
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chairman Blair Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Mary Kay Hansen.
Yes.
Commissioner Max Caius.
I'm here.
And Commissioner Kelly Green.
I'm here.
Town Planner Mark Red.
Here.
Town Planner Rebecca Carl.
Here.
And I'm present. Everybody's here.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. At this time, I will ask Pastor Max to please have the invocation.
Thank you, Paul. I'll be glad to. Father, we come to you tonight. We ask for direction. We ask for insight, for help in the decisions that we make. And we ask for your blessing over the meeting, over the staff, over the Town Planning Committee, over the Pierson Council, over our town. And we give you thanks for it, and we ask it in your strong name. Amen.
Amen. Also, I would like to have an addendum to that. Please keep Senator Graham out of South Carolina in our prayers. Passed away, obviously. Okay, please rise and face the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Please be seated. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the approval of minutes for 5/26/26 and June 23rd, 26.
So moved with the correction of the date on the June minutes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Kelly. Any other discussion on the minutes outside of what Max said? Hearing none, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Noes? Ayes have it. Okay, at this time I will have the new business on the ordinance. And I'll turn it over to Mark Correct. Or Rebecca, which one?
Rebecca's going to do the presentation.
Okay.
You got two items. The first item, if you recall, I mean, it's under new business, but we have talked about this previously. If you recall, we brought forward a version that you guys had some issues with. The issue that you
Yes.
had with it had
Yes.
to do with wanting to be able to still see how the process works. So we went back to the drawing board. And with that, I'll turn it over to Rebecca.
All right, thank you, Mark. Rebecca, please.
So both of these ordinances are brought about by state legislation that is requiring us to make some updates to our land development code. So the first one is related to administrative approval for plats. And this is one that all cities are working through right now. But before, when someone came in and wanted to create a subdivision, they would have to go through an approval process and bring their construction plans that show all their road details, stormwater, all of that, and their plat, which is basically the survey document prepared by a surveyor that shows just the legal description and all of that. Both of those would have gone to you all and then to town council. We can no longer bring plats to a public hearing. It has to be reviewed by staff. Now, where cities have a little bit of discretion or are at least working through this is you can still review concept plans, which right now in the code are optional. So if a developer comes in, they can bring forward a concept plan to see what town council's reaction is, but they don't have to. Other cities are requiring that. So in this draft, we are not requiring concept plans, we're leaving it as it is, optional. But this is proposing to go ahead and bring construction plans to the public hearing process so that everyone is aware of what's being proposed, but not the plat document. So that document prepared by the surveyor would not go before any board. That would all be reviewed by staff only. Are there any questions about that? Because I know this is kind of there's a lot in this document.
What would be, yes, I do have a question. What would be the rationale, the philosophy that only staff would view that?
Well, the legislature passed this requirement. What was the legislator thinking? You know, I think they were thinking that the plat document itself it's usually a highly technical survey. There's stuff in the state law that requires that anytime somebody proposes a plat, the town either has to have on staff a surveyor or hire a surveyor. Pierson obviously hires a surveyor. And so I think they felt like the technical aspects of it were being handled. And I guess there were communities where boards, even though all the requirements were being met, were turning down these plats. And I think the home builders, you know, got together and found members of the legislature who, you know,
Just kind of a free door to
yeah.
build subdivisions.
Yeah.
And,
So, so we don't actually know what'll happen. As Rebecca said, everybody's kind of working through this. Not, you know, obviously not everybody is taking the same approach. You know, Rebecca went back and forth with Scott over a lot of these details, and I would say most of Scott's responses were, I don't know and nobody knows. You know, we will just have to see. You know, you'll have to put something forward, and if people have issues and problems with it, you know, judges will tell us, you know.
Does this have anything to do with what's gonna happen in the fall as far as what we're voting on, as far as the taxes and the property taxes and anything, or nothing?
No, this was before that,
Okay.
and it's separate
Okay.
and distinct from that, but I think it all kind of comes from the same thing. You know, we've seen over a number of years, the legislatures have been taking away local government powers.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that if, you know, if something happens in the fall, then will we be in a worse position if we decide to go with this, or would we be in a better position?
Well, I mean, while we've tinkered with this somewhat, we don't really have a choice. If you guys take no action, we still will not bring any plats. You know, plats will be done administratively.
Okay.
What this does, though, you'll see the construction drawings now. The construction drawings are complicated as well. We'll, you know, obviously we'll review those for you guys, but at least you'll get to see this is how many lots they're creating. You'll have some knowledge of it, and be able to ask questions about it. So nothing will be a surprise. So that was sort of the way we, you know, because that was the question, was, well, is there any way we will still have knowledge of this before if it goes forward? And the answer was, well, no, not really. You'll find out about it when everybody else does.
And
Because,
the law was unclear about whether you could separate the construction documents from the plat. They're for the same project, but one is technically the plat document and the other is technically construction drawings. So the way we've written it is that only the plat is being separated, but you'd still see all the construction drawings. And that's where Scott was, you know, unsure of how if that's really meeting the intent of the state legislature or not, because there hasn't been any case law to establish that yet.
Sounds to me this reflects several years ago in the Senate, Washington, when they said, whoa, we gotta pass it to know what's inside it. Brilliant. This doesn't sound like this is, I know what you just said. It just, I'm not crazy about it, but it doesn't matter, it's gonna go anyways. Am I right, Mark?
It's, yes, and so this actually, you know, in terms of what, we have two things in front of you tonight. We're gonna bring some other stuff forward from this year's legislature, because most of what we're doing right now is last year's legislation. This year's legislation is, you know, even worse. We've talked about it. We talked about with you know, mobile homes.
Yep.
So we'll be bringing that forward. There's some other stuff in terms of how you address compatibility issues, and you know, so there'll be other ones we're going to be bringing forward in the next several months as well.
So with the plats bypassing, with the plat approval being bypassing us, who has a call on if a plat is approved in here? Is it you or?
Technically, it's the land development administrator, which is the town clerk.
Gotcha.
Yep. So she's gonna have the final say on the plat.
On the plat document itself. Truthfully, the people who review plats, people who prepare them, the people who review them, are surveyors. Even we, you know, we're not gonna go, you know, I think this angle of, you know, the curve, you know, on the, you know, on these three lots are wrong. We basically rely on the surveyor. They are, like I said, they are technical, they're pretty technical documents. And, you know, like I said, I think the basis for why they take that power away is because some governments, some boards were denying them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the zoning will still be in a place, so for places
zoning
they
will
won't
still be-
supersede current zoning regulations.
For now, you know, the legislature hasn't taken that away yet.
Okay.
Give them time.
Are there any other questions from the commissioners? Any statements, ideas? None. I think we're going down a rabbit hole, and I think we're gonna have to rely on Mark and Rebecca, and they know a lot more than we do, obviously. So as chairman, I would entertain a motion that it be accepted as presented to us.
Move to accept as presented.
I have a motion to accept it. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded. Any discussion on this planning updates?
Absolutely. I want to go on record
Go ahead.
as saying, although since we have no choice to deny this, I personally feel this is a failure from the state legislature.
Any other statements that want to be recorded?
I'm just gonna make my statement with my vote, that's all I can do.
Okay, good enough. All right, it's, motion's on the floor, it's been duly made and second. All in favor signify, excuse me. City clerk, would you please have a roll call? Town clerk.
Kelly Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Max Stiles,
No.
Mary Kay Hansen,
Yes.
Commissioner Mary Kay, yes. Vice Chairman Blair Davis,
Yes.
Chairman Paul Martell.
No.
Well, thankfully it passed.
Do we have a choice?
It passes.
No.
All right. Okay, let's move on. This is 11, am I correct? Okay. Rebecca, would you continue on with this?
Yes, so this is another one that Scott brought to our attention as something that we needed to bring forward. We need to add a section to the general provisions in the Land Development Code for accommodations. and these include different types of accommodations. So one of them is for certified recovery homes, and there are different types. So if you looked at the ordinance, there are a number of different definitions for level 1, level 2, level 3. Those are all from state definitions. The state has a specific way of licensing them, and so that matches the state's licensing definitions. And basically, the town cannot prevent a certified recovery residence from being established within town limits. That is a preemption. We really don't have a lot we can do to control that. The main question that I had for Scott on this one was the number of occupants.
So just to back, you guys understand when we say recovery house, but it's sober house is what-
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Oh,
right.
geez.
Yeah.
Freaking talking about Parker.
Yeah,
Son of a.
just wanna make sure you understood exactly what we're talking
Okay.
about. But the technical term for them is,
Certified recovery residence, but that is, yeah, that is what it's functioning.
Pertaining to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So the question that I had for Scott, and it is, I think it was highlighted and found it here, was the number of occupants, because I know that was a question that would likely come up. Because the town does have a limit for the number of people that are considered a family.
Let's hear the second one down.
4 people.
Occupancy may not exceed 2 people per bedroom or 1 person per 200 gross square feet of livable space, whichever is
Yes.
greater.
So normally, if they'd be limited to 4 people, with that provision, if you had a 4-bedroom home or a larger home, you might have slightly more than your typical family, the way the current definition is written. But it would still be scaled like a single family home. You wouldn't have like 50 people living there. And Scott did say that was something that we could include in our ordinance. The other thing to consider is other types of accommodations. So let's say someone wants to put up a wheelchair ramp or make some kind of adjustment to their home because they have a disability. That, let's say it's in their front yard setback, that technically can come before you for review, but you can also include that in this ordinance. The way we have written it is that would be staff review, that it would be just an administrative waiver. It would not be a formal variance if it's something that's absolutely necessary for someone to be able to use their home. And that's just to make it faster, simpler, and avoid any question that we are trying to make it more difficult for someone who needs that type of accommodation. So those are really 2 separate things. One is for a certified recovery residence, and the other is for other types of accommodations.
Right. But this would go through the commission.
The ordinance will.
the
Yes.
ordinance will know. Recovery homes, again, they're carving out special treatment for these recovery homes. They gotta get treated like single-family homes, and what accommodation are they gonna ask for? Usually they're gonna ask the accommodation they're gonna ask for is to waive your family size. Right? That's gonna be the accommodation they're gonna ask for. Right? And so this sets criteria. You know, I'm aware of at least one recovery home that already exists, right? That they didn't go through any process really, yeah,
Stuck the signs
We're
in the yard and said we're done.
right. So this at least establishes some process, and,
I said they stuck the signs in the yard and they were done.
yeah.
Is that right across the street?
Yeah, so this establishes a process, and, you know, so that's really what you know, so, so really that's gonna be establishing those rules are
Yeah.
what your involvement
Yeah,
will be.
these are the guidelines.
Right, but we're gonna have to treat them like single-family homes. Single-family homes don't come to you now. They never
No.
have, they don't go to boards
Right.
anywhere. You just, if you meet the zoning,
Yep.
you apply for a building permit and you build a house. Well, most communities were not treating recovery homes that way. And so, again, the legislature acted and said you're gonna treat recovery homes, you know, like single-family homes, but they gave you the ability to establish some process, and so that's,
Is this already a county ordinance?
I don't know whether the county's already acted on theirs, have they?
I don't know if they've acted on it.
They are
Their-
working on it.
Their definition for family is 6 people instead of 4. So, in theory, if you came in before and it wasn't technically allowed in their zoning, you could have up to 6 people. So now, I don't know how they're going to write theirs to accommodate. But I imagine it will be similar in the sense that they'll still want it to be scaled like a single family home. You may be able to have slightly more, but not a lot more.
So this vote, if I heard you correctly, this could change? We'll say hypothetically we pass it here, accept it, and we send it up to the council,
And they pass it.
and they pass it. And they could change and say, oh no, it's not gonna be 2 people per bedroom, it's gonna be 3 people per bedroom.
Have you met our council?
It's the state, I'm talking.
Well,
Okay.
there's criteria in the ordinance that kind of addresses how,
Right, it says 2 per bedroom,
yeah.
yes.
Right, so we wouldn't let them do more than 2 per bedroom, because that's the rules in here, but the accommodation they may say is, well, you know, we have a single family home and we'd like to have 5 bedrooms. Right?
Once again, we have no choice.
But the only thing you can really control is the structure. You're not gonna control the residents,
Right.
cause you have no way to monitor that.
And the structure would still be limited to your
Yes,
typical
it would
single
still be
family dimensional
residential.
requirements.
Still be a single family, right, we'd still keep it within a single family home, but
And maybe 12 people living in it. This is, you know, maybe people should start looking at these representatives we sent up there. This is stupid.
I don't know if I can ask the
Okay,
question.
are there any questions from the commissioners
Yes.
on this
Um,
boondoggle?
Can I ask the question, have the people that were planning on doing the building on Harper Road, if they have made any attempts to become annexed into the town of Pearson?
No,
yeah.
nothing.
No. So this wouldn't have
And
any
with
effect?
their code violations, Pierson wasn't accepted anyway at this time, because they still have code violations
Mhm.
for the removal of all the codes. Off 43,
Oh.
it was a huge problem.
So, my question is, who is going to make sure that these rehabilitation centers adhere to these standards?
Well, again, yes, it is
The
the DRA who
Yeah.
sign off. We'll obviously review the plans, we will make sure that the plans that get presented, we always have this problem here in Pierson, you know, at some point, the town council's gonna have to come to terms with code enforcement and how they're going to address that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, until such time as that happens, the poor DRA / town clerk / is responsible for all of it.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions from the commissioners?
Go ahead, Max. Go ahead.
I would just say that the only positive about this is that it has to be constrained to a residential structure. And
Not a,
that
not a big
can't put
11,000
can't
square
put
foot
another
building.
building up,
Yeah.
and I guess that's helpful.
Yeah.
Would this fall under, would these homes fall under commercial activities? Would that be considered a commercial activity?
Mhm.
No.
That's what they're basically preempting, is saying we have to treat them like a single family residence.
Oh, so they can't be, no, they're
So if
Under
we, let's say our zoning ordinance prohibited them in single-family residences, but allowed them in commercial, now we would have to allow them in single-family. We have to treat them like a family.
Are there any other questions? As chairman, I would entertain a motion that the accommodation under the Fair Housing Act, ADA, make a motion to accept it.
We really don't have a choice.
What if we have no motion to accept it?
That's gonna happen
I don't think we
anyway.
have a choice anyway.
Yes.
It's gonna happen whether we accept it or not.
Right.
So it goes to the council, and whether we want it to go to the council or not?
Well, the reason Scott really is pushing it is because by not having it in our code, it leaves the town legally vulnerable. So someone could sue the town because we don't have this in the code. So he's pushing it as a protection for the town,
Just a
a
little
legal
FYI,
protection.
cause I used to be a paralegal, there are people that go up and down the state of Florida suing cities and towns for not having ADA accommodations,
Sure.
and that's how they make their living, and they're not handicapped.
Yeah.
So this would protect us from that.
Yeah. Motion's still on the floor. I mean, the consideration of a motion. Why don't you do it? Start. I can make a
Mark,
motion.
is there any way around this, or any loophole out there?
No.
As a member of this commission, I make a motion that the ADA Fair Housing Act be accepted to the town of Pierson.
I'll second it.
Seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, seeing none, no. Please, roll call.
Commissioner Kelly Green,
Yes.
Commissioner McIntyre,
Yes.
Commissioner Mary Kay Hansen,
Oh. Yes.
Vice Chairman Blair Davis,
No.
Chairman Paul Martell.
No.
You can make a motion and still say no?
Yep.
Okay.
Because a motion is a motion only. Robert's Rules of Order says that's. It passed. Okay, is there anything else to be brought before this illustrious commission?
That concludes.
That includes the railroad for today.
Believe me, we're not blaming you, of course, but this is, well, anyway, that's another story for another day. Is there any other, business to be brought before this commission? Hearing none, seeing none, as
Paul,
chairman?
I just wanna make one
Yes.
comment that, I do believe that this is trending, and that if, at some point, there might be a stronger sentiment that needs to be expressed at some point.
I would agree.
It's in the minutes. Okay, as chairman, there no further business to be brought before the commission. I adjourn the meeting at 6:28. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. No further business.